The rhythmic thudding continues. A frantic heartbeat echoing in the suffocating darkness. Thump thump. Thump thump. Then the lights flicker back to life, strobing erratically. She's there, Lan, standing inches from Min, so close he can feel the chill radiating from her skin. In her hand, a knife, its blade dripping with fresh, dark blood. Min's breath catches in his throat. He takes a slow, deliberate step back, then another. He can't take his eyes off Lan's face. It's a terrifying battleground, her features twitching, shifting. One moment his Lan, the next a possessed stranger, a vessel for something ancient and malevolent. A new sound joins the frantic heartbeat. It's the sound of children's voices, chanting in a chilling, perfect unison. The words are indistinct, but the intent is clear, a ritualistic drone that seems to vibrate through the very floorboards. As Min glances down, he sees them symbols, glowing as if burned into the wood, forming a complex, nightmarish pattern at their feet. The entire house begins to shake, not just a tremble, but a violent, bone-jarring quake, as if the structure itself is being torn apart. From the deepest, darkest corner of the room, a shadow detaches itself, coalescing into a familiar, dreaded form. The old woman, she materializes as if from pure nightmare, her eyes glinting with triumphant cruelty. Her voice slithers through the chaos, a dry, rasping whisper that cuts through the noise. It's time to finish the ritual. As she speaks, the basement door, long sealed and silent, creaks open on its own, swinging wide to reveal a gaping black maw. A wave of intense heat washes over them, carrying with it the sound of 1,000 distant screams. A chorus of agony pouring from the depths. Before Min can react, he feels hands cold, strong, unseen grabbing his arms, his legs dragging him backward across the floor, pulling him relentlessly toward that open doorway. He's pulled down into the oppressive heat of the basement. The screams are louder here, echoing off the stone walls. As his eyes adjust to the dim, flickering light, he sees them. Names. Hundreds of children's names, scratched and carved into every inch of the stone, a memorial to the lost and the forgotten. And then, another figure forms in the haze. Han, but she's different. Her form translucent, almost transparent, like a fading photograph. She looks at Min, her eyes filled with an eternity of sadness. She explains, her voice a faint echo, that the ritual, the curse that binds them all, requires a final living soul to complete it. As if on cue, the old woman's hysterical laughter echoes from the top of the stairs, a sound of pure, unadulterated evil. The world dissolves. Min is thrown into a flashback, a vision so real he can feel the smoke in his lungs. He sees the children, dozens of them, their faces streaked with tears and soot, locked inside this very building, an orphanage. He sees the fire, starting small, then spreading with unnatural speed, consuming the wooden structure. And through the flames, he sees her, the old woman, younger, but no less monstrous, her arms raised to the sky, chanting as the orphanage burns, sacrificing the innocent souls within. The vision shatters, and he's back in the present, but the illusion of fire remains. Licking at the basement walls, surrounding him, and the ghostly form of Han. A sharp scream pierces the air. It's Lan. She has collapsed to the floor, her body convulsing, screaming in raw, agonizing pain as the entity inside her fights for full control. Min scrambles to her side, gathering her into his arms, his own fear forgotten. Lan, stay with me. Don't close your eyes, he begs, his voice cracking. The spectral forms of the children, the ones whose names cover the walls, begin to circle them, their ghostly bodies moving faster and faster, a whirlwind of silent suffering. From the top of the stairs, the old woman's voice booms, filled with greed and power. Give me your soul, boy. It is the final price. The knife, the one Lan had been holding, clatters to the floor, then slowly rises into the air. Hovering menacingly, its point aimed directly at Min's heart. Just as it begins to move forward, a cold hand grabs his. Tan. She leans close, her form flickering wildly. Her whisper is urgent, desperate. Free them, even if it costs you. With those final words, her translucent body dissolves completely, turning into a cloud of fine gray ash that scatters on the stone floor, and then silence. The children stop their chanting, the house stops shaking. The only sound is the crackling of the illusory fire and Lan's ragged breaths. She stirs in his arms, her eyes fluttering open. For a moment she is herself again. The real Lan. She looks at him, her gaze clear and terrified. "Don't leave me," she whispers, her voice weak. Min looks from her pleading face to the silent, watching spirits of the children. He sees their pain, their imprisonment, a century of torment held in place by this curse. He looks back at Lan, then at the floating knife, and a terrible understanding settles over him. He gives a slow, deliberate nod. An acceptance, sacrifice. A shriek of pure rage erupts from the old woman, she knows. She knows he has chosen them over himself, denying her the final piece of her ritual. The basement begins to collapse in earnest, stone and timber groaning as the house rips itself apart. Real fire, born of a century of rage, now consumes everything. It engulfs the old woman, her screams of fury turning into screams of pain as she is finally consumed by the very flames she once wielded. The ceiling caves in, the world turning to fire and shadow. And as it all fades to black, the last image is of Min, standing alone, surrounded by flames, a silent guardian, welcoming his fate.